It's from Finding Nemo, which is one of my all-time favorite movies and all-time favorite Disney or Pixar movies. Again, that and The Lion King, and obviously some others, but like the two things I watched the most growing up, or at least Disney-wise. And if you've never watched it, it's basically a scene, and it's Nemo is like having a initiation kind of thing in the fish tank at the dentist's office with the other fish, and they set up like this little, I wouldn't say course, just this little ritual site looking thing, and they call him shark bait, and it's like into the ring of fire, shark bait. Ooh, and yeah, it's just that. So since I was dead young, I've used that name for like everything, like not everything, sorry, not like social media. I always just use my actual name for that, but like everything in like games. So like when I'd make a character in a game, I would always call it Sharkbait. And so yeah, I just thought Sharkbait, that's what I put everything else, and you know, it's got my favorite thing in the name, so Sharkbait. Yeah. The second question is, what music do you like, or what's your favorite band? Okay, I have quite a few. You know what, I'll go through like my phases, because everyone, of course, like the favorite artist usually changes and whatnot. When I was young, like really young, like start of high school, I'm 24 now, by the way, so when I was like 12 or 11, however old I was, for a few years I was obsessed with One Direction, and then 5 Seconds of Summer, and they were like my two obsessions, and then I had Union J as well, who came along, and for a while it was just them, and then it turned into like Bring Me the Horizon, Asking Alexandria, Pierce the Veil, Sleep with the Sirens, anyone in those kind of genres, you know, like Crown the Empire, conscious about everything, and it's exhausting. So whenever I go anywhere, I find something to nitpick in my head, and I get really worried over everything, and I can't like settle. Like when we go to the movies, when we go to the cinema, I am like eyeing up every single person that walks in and like judging whether I think they could be a threat or not, which is so stupid. And I also won't go until the movie's been out for a long time, so that like hardly any people will be in the room, because I'm just so worried about like something kicking off or somebody acting like a psycho. And yeah, I don't know, that was such a random tangent. I didn't even answer the question. That was basically me saying I'm an indoors person because I'm super anxious all the time. So my perfect day is a lie-in, where my fiance actually has a lie-in too, because he is such an early bird, and I like to have a cuddle in the morning, but he's always up. So a lie-in together, and then get up, and then we spend time together, maybe play some like Stardew Valley together. We've got multiple farms together, or we play like Minecraft or No Man's Sky, or just play something together. And then later on we'll order like a nice takeaway, so that neither of us have to cook or clean. We'll watch some movies, or we'll binge whatever show we're watching currently, and we'll just have a cozy night in, once we finish our food. Our dog comes up on the bed with us, and we'll just have a nice cozy snuggle fest for the rest of the night, the curtains drawn, candle on, low light lamp on, just a good old cozy time is my perfect day. Gingerbread ASMR, shout out to her. I absolutely love her channel. I'm obsessed. She asked, what is your go-to trigger? It honestly depends what mood I'm in, but the one thing that I will always love is, well, two things, is just whispering in general, because I'm such an avid overthinker. So I like to have something to listen to that is like tangible for my brain to like connect the dots, so it stops me from thinking myself, because I'm listening to someone else's thoughts or sentences or whatever. And mic brushing, especially if it's fluffy mic brushing, I get headaches and migraines really, really often, and that is one of the, or if not the only trigger that actually helps me when I have a bad headache or a migraine. Fluffy mic brushing helps me fall asleep and actually soothes that headache. So that is like a real lifesaver for me. I also really enjoy just like classic tapping and like scratching, or tracing, and lid sounds. I really, really like lid sounds, but one of my favorite triggers at the minute is ASMR Jade does it a lot. She has this giant like Orbeez ball, and she'll put it over the mic when there's no cover on, and it kind of sounds like you're underwater. That is like my favorite at the minute. I love that. She also asked, do I watch ASMR to relax, sleep, or both? Both. I will watch it most nights to fall asleep, but I also watch it in the day when I'm just doing anything, like let's say I'm playing a game on my Steam Deck or on the PlayStation, whatever. I'll have my phone playing an ASMR video next to me, JustCare9390 asked a few questions. The first one is, how did you get into ASMR / what convinced you to start a channel? Okay, so how I got into ASMR is actually very specific. So I was in, I think it was year 10, it was either year 10 or 11 in high school. I think it was year 10. Anyway, I was sat in geography class and I used to sit at the front and I sat next to a girl called Charlotte, and I can't remember how we got onto the topic, but us two and someone else, I can't remember, were all talking about like sleep and stuff. I think maybe I had said I was tired, or like I didn't used to sleep well in school. I would stay up all night like on my phone or playing video games, and it wasn't just a case of like, oh, you know, irresponsible like teenager, like whatever. It wasn't just that, it was like school was so tough. Like I hated it so much. I had so much anxiety every night about going to school. The next morning I would like sob for hours on end and I wouldn't be able to sleep, so I would just watch TV or play games until I eventually fell asleep doing that, because I dreaded going into school that much. So I think I was basically saying like, oh, like I'm tired, I'm struggling to sleep and stuff like that, and I said how like I usually just put something on in the background, like a YouTube video or a movie, or I play a game and I just try and fall asleep that way. And Charlotte told me that she, or that I listen to music as well maybe, but yeah, she told me that she listens to ASMR to try and fall asleep or to relax, and I was like, what is ASMR, like what? I had never heard of it before. So yeah, she explained, and you know, I went home and you know, I thought like, well, I might as well look it up, I might as well give it a try, because at this point I would, you know, I will give anything to be able to have a good night's sleep, because I am so exhausted constantly. Like I would always go home and like sleep as soon as I would get home to catch up on the missed sleep I would get in the night from being anxious. So yeah. And then, you know, at the time ASMR was a lot more niche than it is now, and there was only, like, compared to now at least, there was only a handful of ASMR artists, and there would only be a new one pop up like every so often. It was more of a rare thing. It was a much smaller community back when there was like ASMR Darling, GB, Jojo, Raffy Taffy, Goodnight Moon, Mono, Ono, ASMR, Fast ASMR, PJ Dreams. Like, don't get me wrong, of course there were like way more than that, but it was such a smaller thing, and there just were not as many channels to go to. Like, if you type in ASMR now, I can guarantee you like a million different channels will come up, but back then it was like the same faces you would see all the time. And I remember the first video I clicked on, I think it was just like the top one there, it was like a spa roleplay type of video by ASMR Darling, and I didn't really vibe with it. It just wasn't my thing. Roleplays aren't really my thing in general, and so I like clicked off and I was like, okay, that's not for me, and I left it there. And then I don't know how long it was. I can't remember if it was the next night, if it was a week, but not too long after I tried again. I was like, okay, you know, let's not judge it based off one experience, let's see if there's anything different. And so I was going through, and a lot of them at the time were like spa or hotel roleplay, so I think it was maybe a little trend going on at the minute. So I was like trying to filter through them, and then I just found like a classic like trigger exists and something happens, I don't know what to do. Like, all the stuff we see in movies and stories might not work at all, so like, I would be at a massive disadvantage, and I'd be like, oh no, that's terrifying, and they're also usually a lot creepier to look at, up the way they operate, I guess. So I find that scarier. However, I find the ones without, where it's just like a bad person, more interesting to listen to or to read. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love both, and I love listening to both, but sometimes I'm more in a mood to be like scared shitless, and sometimes I'm more in a mood of like, I want to hear about real people doing fucked up things, and like people, you know, having to navigate that very real situation and, you know, find a way out of it. The same with when I'm watching movies. Sometimes I want a good scare, a good horror like Insidious or whatever. Sometimes I want something like Hush, or yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, paranormal I find scarier, but I think it's a different type of scary when it's, you know, it's real, or it's definitely more feasible, like that could happen. I also like listening or reading the real ones as well, because it's like, if that type of stuff happens in real life, this is the way that you can possibly get out of it. Like, I guess it's kind of like a learning thing, like protecting yourself in a way. Maybe that's why I'm so paranoid, because I listen to all this stuff, but I feel like it's definitely helped me in a few occasions in my life where I've been like followed home, or I've had like a bad and scary experience with someone, or a shady experience. I feel like listening to true crime and stuff like mum's dog. I lived with my mum at the time when she had I'm not gonna get too into it because it's like family stuff, I guess, but at the time I was telling my mum, like, don't get a dog, because she actually got two. She got her and her sister called Tiggy. I was like, don't get a dog, you can't look after him. And long story short, she ended up giving away Tiggy about a year later. And she was gonna give Crystal away too, but I like begged to keep her, and I was like, just not because like I favoured one over the other, it was just one had already been given away. I tried to fight to keep both of them and maybe train them up both up, but she got rid of them. I wasn't allowed to train them or do anything with them because it was like them. My mum was really weird about it. She was like, no, they're my dogs, I want to do everything, so I wasn't allowed to help out or train them until it was too late, and then she got rid of one, and that absolutely broke my heart because I'd been around Diggy since she was a baby, and it still breaks my heart when I think about it now. I could never do that to my pet. So I ended up taking Crystal instead of her going as well to a dog shelter. I believe Diggy got adopted right away, so that makes me happy. At least, I do hope she's having a good life. I hope she got a good home, a good family, because I loved her so much. But there was nothing I could do at the time. I was young, or at least a lot younger than I am now, and I wasn't in a good place. But yeah, I took Crystal. She's mine now. I'm her legal guardian. Everything was changed over, and I moved out. I moved in with my fiance, who was just my boyfriend at the time. So yeah, her name's Crystal. We didn't pick the name, and we do call her Crystal, but we also call her Puddin'. It's like a 50-50 chances to both, so it's not confusing to her. At least we don't think it is, because she does just answer to both. She's both incredibly smart in her own way, but incredibly dumb. She's the most food motivated dog I've ever known in my life. Her colour is pink. Like, I always dress it in like baby pink or stuff like that. Like, that's what I call her colour. Like, her lead, her harness, her jumpers, stuff like that. I always dress her in baby pink. I think she suits it. She loves balls. She's not too big on rope toys. If she plays tug of war, she more wants it to be with like something round, like a ring toy. She chews through everything. Every toy we buy her, no matter how expensive and indestructible, she will go through it like it's nothing. The only things she hasn't chewed through is this pillow pet monkey that I had since I was a little kid. I eventually ended up giving it to her because she just always and now, despite it being years later, she never grew out of that, I guess, anxiousness. She's always reactive no matter what we try. She's scared of meeting new people as soon as she's met them and, realised they're not a threat. She's happy as can be, and she'll always be happy with them. But she has to meet them in her safe space, so like our home, or they have to give her a treat. Otherwise, she'll just bark and cower, which is really sad. One very funny moment was she was growling and barking like I'd never heard it before in the kitchen, and I was like, what on earth? Like, what's going on? So I went out there, the kitchen window was open at the time, and there was a little donut box, and the plastic wrapper on it was like flapping in the wind, I guess, barely moving, and it took me a little minute, but I realised that's what she was barking at. Like, she was absolutely ballistic over it. She was terrified. And then also, there was an advert with James Corden on, or maybe it was on one of his talk show hosts, and he had like a fake knife, and it's like the Michael Myers, like, June. And he was like pretending to get someone, and she did not like that. She was going mad at the TV, or we like rewinded it, or whatever. She hated it, she went mad. And then another thing is, she hates water. Oh my god, you'd think she was like a rabid bat or something. Like, good luck getting her in the bath. She's a stinky little girl, because it takes me and my fiance sometimes to wrestle her into the bath and then bath her, and it's usually a two-man job to keep her in there and like obviously wash her down and stuff. She just doesn't like water. She actually sits a lot better for my fiance though. It's always a lot easier when he's there. He can do her by himself because he's a lot bigger than me and he's a lot stronger. I usually need his help if I'm doing her, because she'll just jump out of the tub and barrel through me like I'm a leaf. But yeah, she hates water. Whenever I hose the garden down, when she's out there with me, she'll like run to me and like cower behind me. She just, even though I've never like played around by like trying to get it or whatever with the hose, she doesn't like it. I guess she's just like seeking comfort or whatever. And she won't go out when it's raining. She will not. Can try and push her out the door physically, she will not go, and then if you do manage to get her out, she'll just stand and scratch at the door until you let her in. You'd think that she'd like realise it, like, oh, I need the toilet. I told my mum and dad I need the toilet. If I go to the toilet, I can come back in. No, she'd rather stand at the door and scratch and cry for like an hour than have a 10-second wee and come back in. So she just won't go. Aria's ASMR diary asked if I could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would you choose? And most importantly, what would you order? That's a good question. I hear that question a lot, and you know what? It's funny because even though it's like a more common question, I've never actually put much thought into it. usually are currently ASMR Jade, Dido ASMR, Freya ASMR, Pamela ASMR, Ladecia does public ASMR, Maeve ASMR, Leonarda ASMR, Gingerbread ASMR, Pumpkin ASMR, Sizzle ASMR, Sage ASMR. I just have so many. That's just some of them. I watch ASMR a lot, so but I really like Pamela ASMR. I watch her stuff religiously. She does like quizzes and like trivia, stuff like that. I really like that because it helps me unwind by not overthinking, because I'm actively using my brain power for something else. And then Jade is probably my next, like, I watch religiously. I watch Jade pretty much every night. I'm obsessed. And then Freya as well. They're probably like the three that I currently watch the most. But I definitely feel like I've went through, not phases per se, but like when I first got into ASMR, it was, like I mentioned earlier, there were not as many creators, and I was obsessed with like Fast ASMR, BJ Dreams, Raffy Taffy, GB, Jojo, Nanu. That was a little bit later on. Just all kinds of people, like Mono, and then as more and more creators have come onto the platform, I now just have like the biggest like pot of ASMR artists that I'm constantly like jumping between, trying to catch up on all the videos because I just enjoy watching them. So honestly, a lot of the time it's just whatever pops up on my feed first, and then I will scroll through and see if I've missed any from my most watched ASMR artists, which at this point is like 50 people. But yeah, back to the original video. Okay, so now we will do personality test. Personality test. What is the famous one that people do? Is it Myers-Briggs? I don't know what that means. Let's have a look. I feel like I've seen someone mention that before. Was it Pamela ASMR maybe? Let's turn this over a little bit. Okay. This says rates. Is that gonna... Yeah, no, that's gonna make me pay. I'm not doing that. Okay. This says IQ test. No, that's not what I want. Okay, 16 personality types, 3 personality test. Okay, let's try this one, guys. Okay. Choose how accurately each statement reflects you, and we have strongly disagree, neutral, myself, but not towards others. I'm more understanding and very like, oh, it's okay, we'll sort it. And it's other people. Ensuring that every detail is correct before completing a task is important to me. Yeah, I don't want to do something wrong. I often find ways to improve methods that are already considered efficient. I strongly disagree with that. No. Again, if it works for me, it works. I'm not gonna put too much brain power into trying to make it even better. Unless it's something I'm super passionate about, which, yeah. When given feedback, I focus on the details to understand how to improve. Yes. I'm very nitpicky towards myself, so if someone gives me like criticism or feedback, I try and implement it or change whatever was wrong. My work environment is organised and everything is a specific place. I am going to say neutral right now because I don't really have a good workspace because my fiance and I live with his family at the minute, so we have a tight space because all our stuff is just in our bedroom together, like, but we're both really neat and organised people, so I know once we move out and it's just us that we will have really organised spaces for our stuff. So for now, I'll put neutral. I feel a strong sense of responsibility to correct inaccuracies for the benefit of others. Again, I'm gonna put neutral. Sometimes I would feel like it's not my place if I don't know them well enough, or if maybe if I don't know them well enough, or if like they haven't asked for advice or corrections and stuff. I feel like if it's not someone I know, they might take that negatively, and I don't want to be that person. But if it was like, say, a friend or family being like, oh, can you look this over, and something was wrong, I'd be like, okay, it's good, but this is like blah 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 blah, whatever. So neutral, I guess. I am often the person who others rely on to find and fix mistakes. No. Not anymore, since I've moved out. I feel like when I lived with my mum, I was that person for like most people, and it was really overwhelming at times, but I feel like I'm not anymore. I naturally sense when someone needs emotional support. Yes, strongly agree. I can sense the slightest shift in anything at all, emotional or horror-wise. I take active steps to help others without expecting anything in return. Yeah, I'll just put agree though, not strongly agree, because, yeah, sometimes, again, I don't want to overstep boundaries, or I'm scared of them, like, not liking it or whatever. But yeah, I love to help others without, I would never expect anything in return. If I care about you, I care about you, and I want to help. Making sure others feel cared for is a priority in my relationships. Strongly agree. I find it easy to build and maintain close personal relationships. I would say strongly disagree. Like, the only people I'm really close to is my fiance and my best friend, and we've been best friends for like since school. So yeah, I find it really difficult to get to know new people, and then especially to kind of further or continue that bond unless they're the one putting forward a lot of the time. I feel too awkward, or like they hate me and they don't want me to talk to them. Like, I know that's kind of toxic of me to be like, oh, like I want them to message first, but or whatever, but I can't bring myself to put myself out there because I'm just too afraid of, I don't know, of being rejected, I guess. But once I've got past a certain point, I feel like it completely shifts. Like, I will spam someone, like, I won't care anymore, I'll just be like, oi, oi, oi. But yeah, I find it hard Helping others makes me feel valued and fulfilled. Strongly agreed, yes. Being appreciated for my contributions is important to me. Yes, strongly. I was never told thanks or can you do this. It was always do this. Blah 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 blah. Just be thankful. Oh my god, I can do it. Just say thank you. I don't know. Okay. Setting and achieving goals is a fundamental part of how I define success. No, I disagree. I feel like I don't really set goals that often. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I don't want the pressure or what, but it's just not something I usually do. I am driven by my ambition and the desire to be successful. Yeah, I guess I agree. Okay. I enjoy being recognized for my accomplishments. I agree. I feel like everyone would like some recognition in some way, or someone to be proud of what they've done or something. I feel like I haven't had that a lot, but then again I haven't really done anything, so I don't really deserve it. Yeah. I am adaptable and excel in every variety of tasks and role. I'm gonna put neutral. I don't feel like I excel in everything, but I feel like I am very adaptable, and as long as I'm shown what to do, I can continue to do it. I just need to be shown first if it's something I'm not familiar with. I constantly look for ways to improve my efficiency and productivity. Again, no, I disagree with that. Being seen as successful by my peers is an important motivator to me. Strongly disagree. I don't care what other people not that I don't care what other people think, it's just it doesn't motivate me. I might feel a bit down if someone thinks oh, I'm crap or something, but it doesn't motivate me to get better, it just makes me feel crap. I actively create and pursue new goals once current ones are achieved. Strongly disagree. Again, it's just not something that I do. I don't know why I've never put any thought into it actually. I adapt my approach if it means accomplishing a goal more efficiently. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. My creativity is often sparked by my emotional experiences. I don't know, yeah, I guess let's put just ordinary agree on that. I need to express my individuality in my work or artistic endeavors. No, disagree. I am drawn to aesthetics and surround myself with beauty that inspires me. Strongly agree, yes. I feel most alive when I am creating something new and original. No, I disagree. My personal style is a true reflection of my unique identity. I don't know. I don't know. I'll put neutral. I'm not really sure how to answer that one. I often find creative inspiration in places others might overlook. risks and always plan for contingencies. Agree, yes. More like I'm vigilant about the risks, but I don't plan for contingencies much. I just have a mental breakdown when things mess up and go to my fiance and ask him to fix it. I seek security and stability in my environment and relationships, definitely, yes. I am loyal and committed, especially to those I trust, 100% yes. I strongly agree that one. Before making decisions, I consider all the possible outcomes and risks. Yes, strongly agree. I prefer clear guidelines and expectations to feel secure in my role. Strongly agree. I sometimes hesitate to take action due to fear of making the wrong choice. Agree, yes. I value predictability and routine as they provide a sense of stability. Yes, strongly agree. I often seek advice or reassurance from others before proceeding. Agree, yes. I embrace change and adapt easily to new situations. Disagree. I'd rather things all stay kind of the same, but I can adapt. But it just really stresses me out. I often seek out new and exciting experiences to keep life interesting. No, strongly disagree. Routine tasks are an opportunity for me to find creative ways to engage. No. What? Like what? Like making fun out of doing a chore? I don't know what that means. I quickly become bored with the status quo and look for ways to innovate. Again, I'm not really sure what that means. I'm gonna say no. Planning too far ahead feels restrictive to me. I prefer spontaneity. Kind of. It depends on what elements, so I'm gonna put neutral on that. Like, not having a plan at all stresses me out, but planning too much stresses me out because I'm putting too much of a box on things. There's a fine line. I am optimistic and can usually find silver-lining in difficult situations. Yes. Unless I'm in a depressive mood. I used to be such a pessimist, but I feel like I've changed. I thrive in environments that allow me freedom and the ability to choose. I don't know. I'm gonna put neutral because it would entirely depend. Sometimes I hate making decisions. It would, again, entirely depend on what the environment or like choice or freedom is. I'm neutral. I am skilled at thinking on my feet and making the best of unexpected changes. No. I get stressed and seek validation elsewhere because I don't trust my own judgment. New ideas and projects excite me more than the implementation or follow through. No. I like it both equally, the idea and the thing, I guess. I prefer to keep my options open rather than commit to one course of action. I don't know. Again, it depends on what that is. I'm gonna say disagree because I feel like once I do something, I will do it. Exploring and experiencing the world is a top priority to me. I disagree. I would like to visit some places, but I'm also scared and like it's expensive. I take charge of situations and I'm confident in making decisions. No. I'm assertive in expressing my opinions and taking a stand. No. Protecting those I care about is just as important for standing up for myself. Yes. I'll stand up for others, but not for myself. I am not afraid of confrontation and I will face conflicts head on. Disagree. Depends on what's happening. I used to be like younger me, teenage me, or like 20-year-old me would say strongly agree on that. Like I did not give a shit. I would go toe to toe with anyone, but now I'm just afraid of everything. I naturally take on leadership roles in group settings. Strongly disagree. Injustice or unfairness prompts me to action. I must speak up. Agree. It pisses me off, I guess. I respect strength in others and I'm drawn to people who are said free. Okay, so the little bastard thing did make me pay, like, and I was not gonna do that entire test and not get the results, like, fuck that. So, yeah, I had to get my card and pay. Okay, it says introduction to type 6, the loyalists. Type 6s on the enneagram, I don't fucking know, are often referred to as loyalists due to their inherent skills in risk management and their commitment to ensuring the safety and security of themselves, their loved ones, and their communities. They are known for their reliability, responsibility, and deep-seated sense of loyalty. Type 6s excel in anticipating potential problems and devising plans to mitigate risks, making them invaluable assets in both personal and professional contexts. Characterized by their vigilant nature, Type 6s are always prepared for various scenarios, which allows them to navigate crisis situations with a level head. They are deeply committed to maintaining stability and order, often serving as the glue that holds groups together during challenging times. However, this vigilance can sometimes lead to excessive worry or skepticism, hindering their ability to trust themselves or others fully. At their best, Type 6s are courageous, steadfast, and deeply loyal companions. They form strong bonds with those they trust and are willing to go to great lengths to protect and support them. Their commitment to preparedness and risk management can foster a sense of security and reassurance in their relationships and communities. The journey of growth for a Type 6 involves learning to balance their vigilant nature with a healthy sense of trust and confidence. By cultivating self-assurance and embracing uncertainty as a natural part of life, Type 6s can alleviate unnecessary worry and skepticism, allowing them to engage more fully with themselves and the world around them. 1. Vigilance and risk management. Type 6s possess a keen sense of vigilance and risk management, always on the lookout for potential threats or challenges. They excel in anticipating problems and devising strategies to mitigate risks, whether in personal relationships, work environments, or broader societal contexts. This innate skill allows them to navigate uncertainty with a sense of preparedness and readiness. Loyalty and dependability. A hallmark of Type 6s is their unwavering loyalty and dependability. They prioritize the well-being of their loved ones and communities, often going above and beyond to provide support and protection. Type 6s form deep, long-lasting bonds with those they trust and are committed to maintaining these relationships through thick and thin. Worry and anxiety. Despite their capacity for managing risks, Type 6s often struggle with worry and anxiety. Their vigilant nature can sometimes tip into excessive fear or skepticism, leading to a constant state of apprehension about the future. Oh, that sounds correct. Learning to recognize and manage these anxious tendencies is a key aspect for growth of Type 6s. Seeking security and stability. The Type 6s have a strong need for security and stability in their lives. They seek out environments and relationships that provide a sense of safety and reassurance, often gravitating towards structures and routines that offer predictability. However, this desire for stability can sometimes lead to resistance towards change or new experiences. Questioning and skepticism. Type 6s have a natural inclination towards questioning authority and scrutinizing information. They are not quick to accept things at face value and prefer to gather evidence and opinions before forming their own judgments. While this skepticism can be a valuable asset in discerning truth from falsehood, it can also lead to indecision or cynicism if not kept in check. Team orientation. Type 6s are team players, often assuming roles that contribute to the cohesion and success of groups or organizations.